Oh,
Or do you want me to start in?
It's up to you. Yeah. I mean,
No, I'll let you do your deal, and then you just let me know when to join you.
For sure. Well, hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Dan Whitfield. Give me just 1 second to get all set up. I was just running a little bit behind, so I wanted to get the live stream started. That way I can come in here and get it all shared. All right. Cool, the camera's in a good spot. Awesome. So my name is Dan Whitfield. I'm the independent candidate running for United States Senate here in Arkansas. And I'm just doing a quick live stream tonight to do an update about my campaign, give you all a little bit of taste for what we did this week and where we're standing with signatures. I've got everything tallied up for what people have sent me today. And then we'll also be going over what else I'm going to be doing in February. And I have an interview with Mr. Ty. He'll come on in just a little bit. And then after everything, we'll go ahead and I'll announce the contest winners for who got the most signatures. And throughout this whole thing, it is going to be a Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can ask. I can see your questions whenever they show up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I'll answer as we go along. So you can ask me anything from politics to just who I am to what I support and things like that. But let's get started with our updates. So we just finished our first week of signature collection. It started on February 1st. And on the 1st, Mr. Jim had set up a meet and greet type of event and a signature signing event at Brews in Eureka Springs. It was really successful. I got to spend, 5 hours or 6 hours? Yeah, something like that. I got to spend the entire afternoon and early evening just doing one-on-one, Q&A, talking with people and answering their questions. And it was really cool. I got to meet so many wonderful people and hear their concerns, and being able to speak with people individually like that it's a huge blessing. It's really awesome. It allows me to understand what people's concerns are, at the individual level. Hey Angie, how are you doing? Oh, yeah, I met you earlier at Sam's Club. Thank you so much for introducing yourself to me and your husband. I really appreciate your guys' support. And if you do need signature sheets, just let me know sometime. Maybe we can meet up at the post office off of Memorial Drive when I'm checking my P.O. box, and I can get you guys all set up. Caleb, need to sign. I'm not sure what city you're in. If you go to replacetomcotton.com and hit the signature collection tab, it has a list of a few different cities and volunteers that have offered for me to publicize their info. Right now, we've got 157 volunteers around the state collecting signatures, which is super awesome. But not everybody wants me to put their phone number online. And that's why we're still working on our list, getting it filled up. And as more people volunteer to allow their information to be, publicized like that, I'll get it filled out more. So yeah, Mr. Caleb, if you let me know what city you're in, I can hook you up with someone, and if we can't do that, then I can mail you out some signature sheets as well, and you can just sign it and then mail it on back. So we started out at Brews, and then the rest of the week was fairly uneventful. This week, upcoming week's going to be a little more exciting. I have a few different events during the week. Yesterday, on the 8th, we went to the vaping exposition down in Little Rock, and I was able to meet with some of our small business owners and listen to their concerns. And it was really enlightening to hear some of the different ways that our small businesses are being shut down. And as far as vaping goes, I do support vaping. I personally don't vape myself. I smoked for many years and I just kind of quit cold turkey. But vaping saves lives because it helps people go from smoking a pack a day to not having a combustible smoke in their lungs to having vapor, which is not proven to cause any health defects right now. It's not proven to cause cancer, where 1 out of 2 people who smoke cigarettes will die from a smoking-related illness. So I do support it, and I would like to see our small businesses, succeed and be able to profit and live the American dream. But that was Saturday in Little Rock. It was really cool. What I'll do is I'll make a post about it here soon, and I'll put all the positive things that came from the meeting and different concerns that they relate to me that I think we could address at the federal level. I would say their biggest concern is that vaping products are now labeled as tobacco products, except vaping products don't have tobacco. So it doesn't really make much sense. But yeah, I can go on more about that in a post later. So the next thing that I'm going to go over is my February schedule, and I'm going to go through this kind of fast so we can just tie on. And for my February schedule, it's looking like tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. I'm going to be at one of the Democratic meetings down in Russellville. So I'll be there at 6:30. I'll listen to their meeting. I'm not sure if they're going to give me the opportunity to speak or if it's just kind of a meet and greet or a Q&A. But I do appreciate that opportunity, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, I will be going to Fort Smith at 6 o'clock in Fort Smith. I'll make sure I create events for these 2 things this evening. They're going to have a candidate meet and greet type thing, and I was invited to go down there. There should be many different candidates throughout the state at this event, so it'll be a really cool opportunity to meet some other people running for office and to listen to concerns from the people in the River Valley. So next Sunday on February 16th is Miss Nikki's birthday, and she has offered to share her special day with me, and she's going to be hosting a party where we're celebrating her birthday and collecting signatures. She lives over in it's like East Fayetteville, so anyone's welcome to come. Just make sure you let me know so we can RSVP so we don't have too many people showing up. And it's going to be really fun. There's going to be music, there's going to be food, signature signing, and just come on by if you'd like to sign and you're in the Fayetteville area. You can sign the petition. You can meet Nikki, tell her happy birthday. She's a really awesome activist and one of my really dedicated volunteers. And just come and meet me, say hi. If you guys have any questions, you can come and ask, and I can always answer. But it'll be really fun. That's going to be on Sunday. So make sure within the next week you RSVP and let me know. The next thing, we got our campaign stores up. So make sure you go to replacetomcotton.com. You can click on the campaign store link. I've got bumper stickers on there. I've got a big car magnet. It's about the same size as a refrigerator or as a piece of paper. Sorry, I'm trying to click back on here. So I think it's like 8.5 by 12 or something like that. So if you'd like one of these awesome car magnets, just go on my story and pick one up from there. It's also one of the prizes. I'm not going to say won it yet, but I'm giving one out every single week as a prize as well for collecting signatures. My bumper stickers have been going really fast, and I just got an email from Vistaprint this morning saying they have a 50% off sale today. So I'll be picking up more bumper stickers and magnets and things like that as well today. So the next thing I wanted to talk about real quick, I really hate asking y'all for this because everyone's volunteering and giving me your time, but we do need to get some donations coming in. Tom Cotton was able to raise $463,000 in the 4th quarter of last year. So we are fighting against big money. 68% of his donations are coming from out of state. He has billionaires donating to his campaign, millionaires. He's taking money from Tyson, from Walmart, from Lockheed Martin. He's taking money from the weapons industry. Our campaign is completely grassroots. My average donation is $30 right now. I'm proud to say every single donation that I've received has come from working class people just like you and myself. We'll be filing our FEC paperwork, I believe tomorrow. I'm going to get it filed, so you guys should be able to go online and check that out there here soon. But yes, if we can get donations coming in, that would be great. A lot of people have been asking about yard signs. And the problem with yard signs is it's a huge investment. When you buy yard signs, you have to buy them in bulk. If I buy 1,000 yard signs, it is a lot cheaper than buying 500 yard signs. And if I can buy 2,000 yard signs, it's a lot cheaper than buying 1,000 yard signs. So I've got a little bit in my account right now, and that's my next focus for expenses. So if we can get just a little bit more donations coming in, then I'll work on getting my yard signs, because I've had, I don't know, more than 50 people ask for yard signs now. So what I'll do is, it is February 9th. Anyone who donates between February 5th and February 15th, $10 will get a free yard sign as soon as we get them. All right? So we'll do that for you guys. Let's get some donations in and get those yard signs out there. And on top of donations, something I'm doing that's really unique that other candidates don't dare to do, is you can see, if you go to replacetomcotton.com and go to the expenses tab, you can see where every single dollar that you've donated has been spent. You can see that we're not mismanaging your money. It's being spent in the best possible way to run our campaign. Now, our campaign is a lot different than Tom Cotton's. We don't have to raise $4 million or $10 million. I'm not going to focus on getting all of the ads in East State, on the television, radio, billboards, all this stuff. All of our donations and all of our marketing is social media marketing and going from place to place, meeting people, talking to people. I think the best way to represent your constituents is to actually listen to your constituents and hear their concerns. It's not to just spend $4 million on advertising. We don't need representatives that know how to advertise. We need representatives that know how to listen and then address our problems as a whole. So, yeah, if you can donate, that would be great. Thank you so much. You can donate through both PayPal and DonorBox. When you donate through PayPal, it's a little bit harder for me to reply and respond to your donation. But if you do donate through DonorBox, I give every single person who donates personalized. I respond to everyone and thank them for their support, their hard work, and giving me their money when everything is so tight right now. And I know it's not easy to give money when 50% of us are living paycheck to paycheck. It's really tough. So thank you so much for your support. Mr. Ty, I've pretty much gone through all the updates that I wanted to go through, and so this is Mr. Ty here.
Hello. Thank you for having me in your wonderful home.
Oh, no problem.
I'm very excited to talk about this and diabetic rights, which I appreciate that you support.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Ty, he is a type 1 diabetic. You're from here in Arkansas?
Yes, I've lived in Fayetteville for 23 years.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
And so what would you say that it's like, well, I don't want to give you a big general question, because
Sure.
those are hard to answer. I guess if you just want to start with your story.
Yeah, well, it's not super unlike other type 1 diabetic stories. When I was about 2 years old, my parents noticed that I was kind of sick and I was incredibly thirsty. I was going to the bathroom just all the time, and they take me to the down the corner doctor, and the doctor says go to the hospital right now.
Oh.
And it was very clear very quickly that I had type 1 diabetes. And so I want to make a distinction between type 1 and type 2 diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of diabetics are type 2. Both types are a deficiency of your body's ability to either make or process insulin, which is a naturally occurring hormone in your body. Insulin essentially takes glucose, which is a kind of sugar, and turns it into energy, and that's your body's preferred version or preferred way to get energy. Mm-hmm. So type 2 diabetics, they are able to produce insulin, but they're not able to manage it properly. And this can be caused by a number of things, from genetics to diet to other lifestyle sort of things. Type 2 diabetes is much more fluid about the way it can be managed. It could just be as simple as a diet and lifestyle change, to taking a pill, to insulin injections. That is about 90 to 95% of diabetics. I have type 1 diabetes, which is different because I cannot produce my own insulin. The insulin producing cells in my pancreas are effectively dead, and so I no longer have the ability to make insulin at all. So I have to receive insulin.
So you
externally.
have to buy insulin.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely have to have it. Type 1 diabetes, it's not an option whether or not you take insulin. It is like oxygen. You have to have it.
Mm-hmm.
If I eat, I have to have insulin. Doesn't matter what. I actually take insulin. I take it through a pump that is in my body at all times, and it is constantly giving a very small dose of insulin. Because just by existing, your body is metabolizing glucose and needs to be able to process it into energy.
So on an average day, how much insulin would you say you go through?
It very much depends on what I'm eating, of course. An average meal of like say like a spaghetti meal
Mm-hmm.
is going to be probably about 10 units of insulin. And my regular drip, like I mentioned, of insulin gives me about 1 unit an hour.
Okay.
So in an average day, I could go anywhere from like 50 units to 150 units, just depending on what I'm eating, or if my blood sugar ratio, which is like sort of the measure of how you're doing on a moment-to-moment basis, if that gets out of whack, I might have to deliver more insulin. It is like oxygen, like I said before, or like water. It is an absolutely essential part of my life. If I just stop taking insulin right now, in a couple hours, I would start to get a little bit sick. A few hours after that, I would have to go to the hospital. And in about 2 days, I'd likely be dead. So yeah, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So you're just, no matter, you're forced to take it.
Yeah.
So I mean, how many units are in like a vial?
A vial of insulin, I believe, is 1,000 units.
Okay.
So a vial of insulin will last me a little over a week.
Okay. And how much?
Typically.
And so, what kind of insurance do you have? Like, how do you pay for yourself?
In less than a week, I turned 26, which is the second worst day in a diabetic's life, because that is the day you lose your parents' insurance. The first being the diagnosis. Fortunately, I don't remember my diagnosis, so. But I do have insurance through my wife's job. I've started a business. I'm doing the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to pursue the right of every American in pursuing the industry that they want to pursue. But that doesn't afford me insurance through my job right at this time. So fortunately, I have a wonderful wife who has a very good job, a very stable job, and so I get insurance through her now that
Okay.
I'm losing my parents' insurance. And it would classically be considered good insurance, but
What is good insurance nowadays?
exactly, at the risk of sounding a little bit edgy here, there's really no such thing as good insurance. When a company is profiting off of your ability to live, that's not a good deal for you.
Yeah.
The primary goal of pharmaceutical and medical companies, being for-profit companies, is the for-profit part. The
Yeah.
primary goal is not my care. And so when they're just strictly trying to profit, by definition, it's like a casino. Like, you can have a good day, but at the end, like, you're not the one winning.
Yeah, for real. So you're on your parents' insurance right now. Do you know about how much the insurance pays for insulin and how much you have to pay out
Yeah,
of
so
pocket?
I've never been a numbers guy, but I wrote it down. So right now, through my wife's insurance, so the insurance itself, just to have it, costs $237.52 for both of us. That's the family plan
Per month?
per month.
Okay.
The deductible is $2,500. We still pay 25% after that, and then the max out of pocket is $10,000 and $10,500.
You have really good insurance, by the way.
So
wow.
typically it'd be considered really great. So and they have a program where it's geared towards newly diabetics, but I've been able to finagle my way in, I guess. It's basically a coaching program that can help subsidize some of that cost for insulin, which is great. I have to talk on the phone with a nurse like once a month and she teaches me how to manage diabetes, and frankly, at the risk of someone down the grapevine hearing this, I kind of play dumb a little bit, so they don't kick me off.
Oh, wait, you're telling me something that I've been living with?
Yeah,
with
it's like,
years.
oh,
Okay,
like,
gotcha.
I gotta count these carbs, okay.
Right, okay, I gotcha. Never
got
had
it.
to do that before.
But one of the unknown things about diabetes and about insulin, insulin costs are in the news right now. People are campaigning on it, which is great. And so a lot of people are aware of insulin costs, but not a lot of people are aware that insulin is it's a liquid. You have to get it somehow. Whether that's multiple daily injections through a typical needle or what's called like a pen, or through a pump, which I have a pump. Those all have disposable supplies incorporated within them, and those all cost money. So I did some quick math, and this is assuming I don't have insurance, because while we do have quote unquote good insurance, and she has a
lot of people don't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
There's millions of Americans uninsured, but millions more underinsured.
Yeah.
That's is just as big of a problem. She also has a very stable job, but we still kind of live in fear of, what if something happened, and she no longer has that
Especially
job.
this is a right to work state. Your boss
Yeah,
could literally
yeah,
come in
just-
tomorrow and say, "Oh, we no longer
exactly.
need you."
So we have to have like emergency plans of like, okay, like lose the job on Friday, we're going to Canada on Monday to buy some insulin.
Right.
Where it costs like $30 a vial.
Yeah.
But assuming we don't have insurance, worst case scenario here, I use about 3 vials of insulin a month. Each vial would cost me $328.54. So that's a total, so times 3, that's $985.62 a month. In order to monitor my blood glucose ratio, I use what's called a continuous glucose monitor. In the olden days, you would just prick your finger 10 times a day and read it that way. And those strips that you put into the meter cost money, and the meter itself costs money, and the needles to prick your finger cost money. But now I have a much more efficient system where it actually reads out on my phone.
Oh, really?
It's a thing in my arm. It's in the other arm right now. And it is connected to my phone, so I can go and see like a grid, like a chart.
So you can literally monitor it all day long.
Yeah, I got that 6 months ago, roughly. It has literally changed my life.
Really?
The journey to getting it took about a year. It was very, very tough to get.
Through the insurance?
And I'll go into what it took to get it here in a minute, but staying on the cost here, the monthly supplies of the continuous glucose monitor, because you have to take it out and change it to your other arm or a different like fatty spot on your body. And it has a transmitter that goes into a receiver. The transmitter expires every 3 months. The receiver expires every 10 days. And then additionally, I have my actual insulin pump. In the pump itself, the machine costs, it could be thousands, depending on the exact pump you're looking for. But I've just ignored that because that is such a variable. But there has to be a channel that you put the insulin into that goes into your pump, and then a tubing that feeds the channel to your body, and then the actual connector into your body. So that's 3 things in there, in addition to a syringe in order to inject it into the channel. So putting that all together, all of those monthly costs, if I had no insurance and had to pay for all this, my cost every month would be $1,561.77.
I mean, that's a mortgage on a really nice house.
That's 3
insane.
times my rent.
Yeah. Wow.
So when you look at it that way, the insurance is a very good deal. But it's still not quite good enough because the insurance doesn't cover all these supplies. So like I was saying, it was a big challenge to get my continuous glucose monitor because insurance companies didn't think it was required in order to sustain life.
Yeah.
My endocrinologist had to write 3 letters to the insurance company saying this patient is however many more times likely to die within the next couple of years if he does not receive this item. And they still denied it and denied it and denied it. And eventually they gave it to us, but they didn't cover all of it. I don't know the exact percentage that they covered. And I don't know the exact out of pocket right now for those supplies because my insurance is changing up right now. But it's not a total free ride. We pay those $200 odd to have the insurance, but then we still pay an amount on top of it. And so that sort of brings me to the story of getting the glucose monitor. Like a year and a half ago, I went into what is called diabetic ketoacidosis, and essentially that is when there is some sort of issue in receiving your insulin. Your body's rejecting it because of a virus, or you just haven't received enough lately and it's kind of gone into a panic mode. It could be a number of things. I'm still not really sure what caused mine. Everything seemed to be normal until it wasn't. But your body says, oh, I'm not getting energy from the glucose. We got to find a backup method. And so they can pull energy from your blood, but they have to replace it with acid. So that's the acidosis part.
Okay.
So literally acid flowing through your bloodstream. Incredibly dangerous situation. Like thousands of
painful too.
It's miserable. I'll tell you. You're sick through all sorts of ways. Very incoherent. We went outside because we were like a hospital time. And I had my eyes closed because I just felt miserable. And I opened my eyes and we're in the bright daylight, and I literally couldn't see anything. I had to be guided to the car. And so it's a really dangerous situation. Thousands of people die from it every year. And we go to the hospital and we get rushed into the emergency room, and my parents arrive because they're wonderful supporters of this, of course. And my wife's there, and I remember a very distinct moment where I'm literally laying on a stretcher and I have like 4 nurses and doctors over me doing I don't even know what to me. But the part that I really remember is then a lady walked in the room and went up to my wife and said, "Are you the spouse?" And she said, "Yes." And she's like, "Okay, we need to talk about how you're going to pay in the emergency room." And my wife, it was an overwhelming time, of course, and she got flustered, and my mom just wrote a check. I still don't know how much this whole hospital trip cost. My parents just said, "We don't want you to go into huge medical debt over this. We will take care of it for you." Which I'm extremely lucky. I'm in a privileged position because of that.
You're lucky, your parents are there with you.
I'm in a
you have that support.
Much more advantageous situation than most.
There could be people who don't have family around them like this to even give them that emotional support, which I'm sure when you're in that kind of pain and going through all that.
So after that, it became clear I need to get one of these continuous glucose monitors so that if one of these diabetic ketoacidosis episodes is coming on, I can do something about it before it gets too late. And so I spent a couple days in the ICU, and you'd think that'd be enough for insurance to be like, "Oh yeah, good idea," but no, they denied it and denied it. It took over a year to actually get approved for it, and they don't cover a whole lot of the cost for it as it is. We were pretty much about to just buy one outright because we just needed it. We're literally saving money for it. But based on all those costs, the insurance is a great deal, but it's still not really great. And when diabetes is so hard to manage, like you don't get a day off, there's no breaks. I wake up once a night. It is a full-time job in itself. We're the only developed country in the world that then puts another burden on that. We have the capacity to make this easier. We have the capacity to make it cheaper. We have the capacity to do it better than anybody else in the whole world, and we just don't. And being inside of this sort of system, it becomes really, really clear that it's just because of greed, frankly.
It's just money.
It's like I said, these companies are they're just for-profit companies. I pulled up. There's 3 manufacturers of insulin. Sanofi, Eli Lilly, and Novo Nordisk. Eli Lilly is an American company. Sanofi is a French company, I believe, and Novo Nordisk is a Danish company. I might have gotten those two mixed up, but Novo Nordisk revenue in 2017 was $16.4 billion. Eli Lilly's revenue in 2018 was $24.5 billion, and Sanofi's revenue in 2018 was $37.7 billion. And they justify a lot of this because it is hard to manufacture insulin, but it's to a point now where a vial, the manufacturing cost is about $5. The other justification is they say it funds research, and while that's true, most substantial research, including the research that actually allowed the discovery, I guess, of insulin and the ability to make it ourselves, all came from government grants.
Yeah.
So we're already paying for this. We're paying twice, essentially.
So now the question is, when these three companies can profit $68.6 billion while Americans are literally dying because they can't afford this life-saving drug, why is that even allowed to happen? It doesn't make sense.
Well, it's lobbying.
And that's all it is,
Yeah, you know this.
It all comes down to corruption. And when our legislators are taking kickbacks and taking money from these companies, directly from these companies, and then voting on legislation that is, against the well-being of their constituents.
Since 1998, pharmaceutical companies have spent almost $300 million on lobbying in Congress.
Wow.
And they say they can't afford to give us insulin.
Yeah.
It's just so obvious. It's so frustrating. And they make it really tough to sort of express that frustration because you're never dealing with the right person. Another issue with our current healthcare system is the sort of bureaucratic mess that it is.
Yeah.
I read a Business Insider article yesterday that said that if the U.S. switches to a single-payer system, we would probably save about $600 million on administrative costs alone. When you look at the price tag for Medicare for All and similar programs, when you remove all the money that we're spending on the current system, it gets pretty cheap and pretty easy to do. We looked at our household income based off of Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan, and we would spend $440 per year in healthcare.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
We spend more than that in a month.
Oh my gosh. And you guys have great insurance. My wife and I, we have pretty decent jobs. We work for one of the, a Fortune 300 company, one of the biggest companies here in Arkansas. And we pay like $840 a month for our insurance, just for the three of us.
Yeah.
We paid 18% of our income last year to medical insurance.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, and that's why I do support Medicare for All.
Yeah.
Everybody says, "Oh, it's just socialism. It's socialized medicine. How are we going to pay for it? Nothing's free." Well, you're absolutely right on some of those points. We are going to pay for it. Nothing's free. There are some things that you have to have social programs for in America, because if you don't, then you'll get taken advantage of. And we see that with police, fire, and school.
Yeah.
Our infrastructure.
Among hundreds of others.
Yeah.
Every time we bail out a Wall Street bank, that's
socialism. It's okay when we're
Yeah.
bailing out the billionaires, but
Yeah.
not when we try to bail out the working class.
Mm-hmm.
So the way we're going to pay for Medicare for All is, number one, if you make less than $29,000 per year, you have medical insurance, period. And this is going to cover vision, dental, and medical, everything.
Yeah, our insurance prices, that wasn't including vision, dental, anything, specialists, anything like that.
Oh, man. And then it just starts to go
Or
up.
any out-of-network folks.
And they'll get you with those networks. They'll tell you, oh, this hospital's in network, so you go to this hospital, and then the doctor that you're there to see isn't there. Now they make you see another doctor who's on on call or there, and they just happen to be out of network, but they'll tell you that after the fact. When you get that bill.
If there is a research hospital in like Denver or Dallas or one of these big medical epicenters that says, hey, we have an experimental therapy. We want you to come and do this medical study. It could reverse your diabetes. Which happened. It has happened before. It's rare, but it happens. But they say, but it costs some money. I'd have to do like a GoFundMe or something. And my financial station would very much determine rather in the most life-changing thing that could ever happen to me. And frankly, like achieving a human right. Insulin is a human right.
Absolutely.
Everywhere, but
it's just as important, literally, as air, water, and food. You cannot live without it.
If you want to look very like old school Americana ideology, America was founded on the Thomas Paine idea of every person has the unalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Liberty and pursuit of happiness depend on life. If you don't have the right to life, you don't have the right to anything. And when you put a literal price tag on something that you depend on to live, you can't go more than 2 days without. You don't have the unalienable right to life.
I mean, it's basically unconstitutional at this point,
absolutely.
The way that they are holding us hostage for money. So I'm sure most people know, I've gone over this, the number one cause for bankruptcy in America is medical debt, and 70% of the people who file bankruptcy for medical debt have medical insurance. They're doing everything the right way, and then they get sick and they lose everything. And it just shouldn't be that way. So Medicare for All, we will pay for it. It's going to be about 4% of your income. The average household in Arkansas pulls in $40,000 per year. And if your family is making $40,000 a year, which is the average here in Arkansas, that means you're going to pay $440 a year for your medical insurance. And that's for everybody in your house. That's not just for yourself. $440 a year. And that's going to replace your premiums, your co-pays, your deductibles. There's no reason for us not to be all on the Medicare for All. It's crazy.
And people don't like it when taxes get raised, but if we think about tax in a little bit more of an abstract sense, I have a insulin to carb ratio that I adhere by. I can literally quantify the cost for eating. I can put a dollar amount. I've done this before. My favorite one is the Lean Machine smoothie from Chocolate Smoothie Cafe. Aside from the cost of buying the smoothie, in insulin, it cost me over $6 to drink.
Wow.
I
hope this.
I call that a tax. That's a tax on
your life.
On my life.
That's crazy.
I pay tremendously more in taxes now than I would on Medicare for All.
Right. I hope this deer burger isn't too bad for you.
No, it's fine. Protein has no carbs.
Right.
And I can have carbs. I just have to give the insulin for it. I love candy and ice cream. Like I have a little bit of a sweet
me too, obviously.
As long as I give myself the insulin for it, it's totally fine. A lot of diabetics limit that because it's another variable that can throw a wrench in your plans and everything. But I think as long as you're sensible about it, you don't have to deny yourself anything.
Right. So how do you? I know some states right now are putting a cap on insulin price at $100. Do you think that's something that if we can't get Medicare for All passed, that will still help and make the quality of life?
It's a step in the right direction. There's still going to be people that can't afford that. But it's a step in the right direction, of course. The reason I support Medicare for All and not like Medicare for all who want it, things like that, I think if you leave the pharmaceutical companies like one hand on the steering wheel, they can still drive the car. We have to get rid of their ability to determine our livelihood, our lifestyle. But it's a step in the right direction. Colorado has passed it. Utah they have legislation on the floor to cap it at $30, I think.
Really?
And oddly enough, Colorado and Utah are the two states with the lowest percentage of diabetics. You know, a state that cares about diabetes has less diabetes. In particular, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget this. This is an Arkansas issue.
Oh yeah.
We're number 4 in the country for diabetics, like per capita. And the national percentage, there's about 30 million Americans with diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2, or there's a couple like in betweener kind of diabetes. So that's about 9% of the population. They expect there's probably another like 1 to 2% undiagnosed. Yeah. In Arkansas, it's over 14%. The top 10 states are all in the South.
Yeah.
They're all here. They're all our neighbors. They're all the people that are fighting against what they need. To be perfectly frank,
a lot of people just don't know, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is absolutely an Arkansas issue. I have to look at my phone again for this number. The American Diabetes Association estimated that every year there's 25,000 Arkansans diagnosed with diabetes, and that diabetes costs Arkansas and Arkansans $3.1 billion a year. We are not the wealthiest state. We have debt in our state. This isn't good for us. This isn't good for Arkansas to stay where we're at. That's my opinion. I think it's probably your opinion.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And I think when you look at the facts, it's it's self-evident.
Right.
So,
if you want to keep talking about your story,
sure.
I'm going to try to catch up on.
If anybody has questions for me,
that's what I was going to say.
Open.
I'm going to try to read up on these real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, Miss Connie, this young man is Ty Webb.
Ty Behringer.
Ty Behringer, not
Yeah.
Ty Webb. Who's Ty Webb?
I think I know a Ty Webb. Do I? No, I know a different. I'm thinking of a different Ty.
Let's see. When will you be coming to Paragould, Jonesboro? I'm going to try to make it to Paragould, Jonesboro in the next 60 days. At some point here soon. I just have to be able to get the time off of work, and I can work around my school schedule. Okay, but yeah, there aren't too many questions. There are a lot of people watching. I got a lot of hearts on here. There are just so many different ways that we can help Arkansans that we don't really think about.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at $3.1 billion a year that people are spending, for this disease, Medicare for All is the only answer. It really is.
Yeah.
Because people can afford to pay 4% of their, income to keep themselves alive. But when you start looking at $1,500 a month, what happens if you don't have insurance? I mean, that's for a lot of people, that is their entire income, especially here in Arkansas.
People literally just take like pilgrimages to Canada to buy supplies. I have a friend whose wife is a type 1 diabetic, and he periodically has to go to Sweden, and I think sometimes Canada, for work. And every time he goes, he just buys as much as he can. Yeah.
So
even though they have insurance and everything, you need that little bit of a safety net. Too.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I can see the number of vials in my fridge, and I can count. Oh, I have, 6 weeks left.
Oh my gosh, you can literally see it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You see the finish line always. Yeah.
How long does a vial of insulin last if it's refrigerated?
If it's in the fridge, I think it lasts about 6 months.
Oh, okay. So that's really not even that long at all.
No, it's not even that long. Once it's out of the fridge, it lasts 21 days. So insulin's kind of complicated. It's there's live molecule. I'm not a scientist. There's live something in there, and then that's part of why it is difficult to make. And it's also part of why these 3 companies have been able to hold on to their patents. That's another big issue.
Thing. We have to get this patent
They
gone.
have a literal monopoly on this, and the way they maintain that. Well, for one, they all work together. They do. I gotta pull up my notes again on this one. So when it comes to patents, they do what's called evergreening. They make tiny, inconsequential changes to the formula that doesn't affect any of the therapeutic aspects of insulin.
But it removes the patent.
But it renews the patent. All they have
Wow.
to prove is that the drug is not worse.
Mhm.
They don't have to prove it's better. They just have to say, oh, it's not worse than it was. So they do that periodically to keep their patents. Additionally, these three companies, they engage in what's called shadow pricing, which is a method that some health companies use to raise prices in lockstep. Insulin is one of the most fast-growing prices of any commodity in the entire world. It has
A life-saving drug is,
yeah.
I mean, going up faster than commodities.
It is since 2009, I believe. Since 2000, it has risen at 1,200% rate of inflation. In 2009, it only cost it was like a little over $100. In 2000, it was like $50.
And now we're looking around like 360.
Yeah. And in a couple of years, if we stay like this, it's going to be over 400.
Yeah.
I graduated college just a couple of years ago, but I remember in college it was like $200 out of pocket, or not out of pocket, but the vial if you had to just outright pay for it. And there's no end in sight. If you look at a graph of these companies' insulin prices, I mean, it's a staircase. They all go at the same exact time. And they deny that, of course, because if proven that it's a violation of antitrust laws, so of course they deny it, but no one looks into it because they have a hold of all the Congress people.
Mm-hmm. So of course, Medicare for all, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
It's hard to get Medicare for all passed because these very same corporations are spending billions of dollars on, attack ads, disinformation ads, and things like that. So it makes it really hard. So another thing we could look at is, working on the patents so that those three companies don't have, the hold on the entire market. That's the whole point of capitalism in a free market is the ability for new companies to come in.
Yeah, they've subverted capitalism.
We need to get the product more efficient. We need to have more companies competing to make their product better, to finding ways to cure. We have a big problem in America of avoiding curing diseases and focusing on treatments because there's more money in treating a disease forever than there is in curing it.
Yeah, we're a reactive system, not a proactive system.
Exactly.
We're the only developed country in the world where people don't just go for regular checkups.
Yeah.
And a doctor can say, oh, this looks funny. You may not have even noticed, but I'm glad we've caught it now.
And it happens even when you have insurance. Man, I hate to say this for everyone to hear, but so last night my daughter had bit a piece of plastic off her dress, and she swallowed it. And she didn't say anything to us for a couple hours, but then she's like, there's something in my throat that hurts. I'm like, well, what could that be? And it took a little coercing. It's okay, I love you, baby girl. And she finally told me what she did. So now, I come out and I talk to my wife and we're thinking, do we need to go to the emergency room? Is she gonna be okay? Eat some food, drink some water, is it still there? Can you breathe? All these different questions rather than being like, there's plastic stuck in your throat, we're going to go to the hospital. Because we can't afford it, even though we pay $800 a month in medical insurance. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, she woke up this morning and she said her throat hurt a little bit, and then she had some rice and water, and then the hurt went away. I Googled, is it okay kind of thing to see, do I really need to take her to the ER? And they say, as long as it's not in the throat, if it passes, it'll be fine. Yeah. So we avoided it, we got lucky, but I shouldn't have had to go to sleep last night wondering, is she going to be okay? I'm going to keep an eye on her, make sure she's breathing, and wake up, several times through the night, make sure she's still breathing, kind of thing. My wife, we had to leave work the other day because her throat was swelling up. So we leave work and we go to the clinic next to our work. Takes them 10 minutes to determine, to find our insurance. And they're like, well, we don't see an appointment. We're like, well, no, her throat is closing. She's having a hard time breathing. We didn't make an appointment. We came here. They're like, oh, well, we only have one doctor on call, so we can't help you. Go to urgent care. This was in Lowell. So then we go to urgent care in Rogers, like a city over. And they're like, oh, your throat is swelling up, we don't want it to close, we don't want you to, have these issues, so here's a Benadryl, and now you need to go to the emergency room and get on a steroid IV drip. So then we go to the emergency room, and the doctor that was a nurse practitioner who we saw at the urgent care.
Oh, she should know better.
And yeah, a nurse practitioner should know better. So then we get to the ER, and the doctor's like, oh, you're probably just sick or something, and your throat looks inflamed. You'll be okay.
Catching a virus.
Yeah, catching a virus or something. So the Benadryl had helped at that point. She was just, super groggy from taking whatever big Benadryl they give you there.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't need the IV drip. And she sat there for a little while, and then we left. And before we left, actually, they go, oh, well, here's your facility bill for $863 for emergency. That's not the doctor bill. That's not the facility bill for urgent care or the doctor bill for urgent care. We know the bills are going to start coming in. And all of this, we have insurance it's just crazy. The whole health system, it's just set up to...
It's a bloated mess.
It is. Yeah. And the Affordable Care Act was great in some ways, but at the same time, it allowed this to happen.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not for expanding the Affordable Care Act. What we need to do is we need to do something different. We've had private insurance forever. Forever. We've only had private option. We've tried different private options, but every single one of them is a private option, and the same result happens every single time. And if we're going to look for different results, we need to try something different. I know you. I'm sorry. You're all.
No, please.
I'm just trying to make sure everybody here, can understand as well, because a lot of people just don't understand how important medical care is, and how we have to start putting people above profits.
Yeah. And it's affordable too. We as a country we spend more per citizen right now than any other country in the world.
Yeah.
And we'll spend less per person on a Medicare for All plan.
Absolutely.
And from a purely economical standpoint, when you look at the country as a whole and not just the top couple percent, it's an economical decision. It's financial. It makes sense.
It is.
It will. It'll stimulate the economy. I very much believe that.
Definitely.
When someone's not worried about I got to pay $800 a month just in case something happens, or I have a regular medication I pick up every month and that costs $60. When people don't have to worry about that, they have more money to spend in their local economies.
And especially, it's something like 70% of Americans couldn't afford a $1,000 emergency.
Yeah.
If you get a flat tire or your windshield breaks on your car, a lot of people can't afford it. Walking around the college campus, do you know how many bald tires there are, on the students' cars, because they can't afford new tires?
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine how many lives it will save there and how much safer the road will be.
People will become more educated because a lot of people, especially in big cities, they don't go off to college because they need to help support their family.
Yeah.
When their family is more self-sufficient.
Especially when your family member is sick and you're helping take care of them.
You can go off. You can go and achieve what you actually want to achieve. The biggest victim of Medicare for All will be movie writers. Every sympathetic villain, they say, "Oh, I just robbed this bank for my grandma's medical bill."
Yeah.
That's all it is.
John Q.
I notice that every time I watch a movie, it's like, oh, I can't go to the hospital. So let's get into hijinks. We have become a joke. It's literally written into movies.
Well, we are the only modernized nation in the world that does not have Medicare for All.
Yeah.
The 39 nations that do have Medicare for All, they could, tomorrow, their constituents, their people could go and be like, we don't like this, we're going to switch to a private option. There's nothing stopping them from doing that. Why have none of them ever reverted back to a private system?
Look,
it works.
These other countries can do it, so can America.
Absolutely, and we can do it better.
Yeah.
We have the models that they have already created. All we have to do is follow it.
Yeah.
And that's going to take getting legislators into office that won't take money from healthcare and pharmaceutical companies, and it's going to take people that actually care, about American people more than profits.
If we can put a man on the moon in 1969, we can have Medicare for All in 2024.
Absolutely. I see it coming. I know it's got so much support. The only people that don't support Medicare for All right now are people that are just poorly informed or misinformed.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really trying to
70%
focus
of the
on.
U.S. population supports it.
Yeah.
That's Democrats and Republicans
Yeah.
and everybody in between. I read a thing the other day that 50% of registered Republicans would like to see a single payer system.
Right.
But that's not actually represented in our congressional system.
It's not at all.
Even on the Democrat side of things, less than half of Democrats support it.
I know, right?
Even though their Democratic constituents are saying, we want
Yeah.
this, they're just afraid to take the leap.
But you know what? What we need to do is we need to pass Medicare for all right now. And worst case scenario, in 2 years, we can repeal it, just like they want to repeal Obamacare. You know, we can see how it works, make sure it's working good. And if it doesn't work, at least we tried.
But we know it's
It
going to
can't be worse than it is now.
We already have Medicare.
Well, yeah, I mean, we know it'll work.
And
I'm just saying,
yes.
worst case scenario for the pessimists, for the people who don't believe it.
I get you. All they're trying to do is take an existing system that's very popular, and then just like say, oh, we're gonna add it to 10 more decades worth of people. A year later, 10 more, until it's
Yeah.
it's just an expansion. It's not even a new thing. And it's one of the most popular things in the government. is
Well,
Medicare.
what was it, like 4 years ago? Everyone was saying Bernie Sanders was crazy for Medicare for all. And this year, at one point, every single Democratic candidate was supporting it, except I think like Joe Biden. And then they've slowly weaned off of it, I'm sure, as their pockets are starting to fill with some farm money. But
And now even the naysayers are saying, well, it'd be great, I'm just worried about how we'll pay for it.
4% of your income, which is a lot better than most people are paying now.
You know, and once Amazon's paying some taxes, maybe our military budget takes a little haircut.
There are other ways we could pay for it without adding new taxes.
This price tag is a lot smaller.
Oh yeah, it is. I wish I had the paper I had created when I did all the math for this, but it will save us money. Very, very smart people making tons of money. Think tanks have already gone over the numbers and have proven. I think it was the Koch brothers who were trying to disprove it and spent a bunch of money, ended up proving how much money it will save us. It's crazy. Let me try to read some of these real quick. Let's see. Looking forward to the meeting. Oh, thank you, Mr. Lee. The medical prescription costs are ridiculous. They absolutely are. Yes, my orchid finally bloomed, Mom. I even had to turn around and put it right here. So when my daughter passed away 5 years ago, we got this orchid as one of the gifts from a really wonderful lady who I hope I can actually talk to soon. And my wife didn't really know how to water it, and we kind of drowned it. So the flowering stem got soft, and I cut it off. And this is the first stem that it's gotten, and the first time it's bloomed in 5 years. So I'm super proud of it right now. It took a lot of babying to get it going. But sorry, thank you, Mom.
We find no plants in our house. That is not our strong suit.
Well, these ones are all super easy, like the peace lilies. No joke, as soon as the leaves start to fall and touch the floor, you just give it a pitcher of water. That's it. Like, it doesn't even need direct sunlight.
We were told it couldn't die.
Oh no. You go for the peace lilies.
9 months?
That's
Hey,
pretty
we almost
good.
made it a year.
Yeah.
Not super good when they literally said, "Oh, it can't die." It's like a cactus.
It's tough because the sun rises over there and sets over there, so we literally get no sunlight in our house at all. These ones work. Sorry, a little off topic, but I love my plants. I'm a plant guy. If it was daylight, I'd show you everything I got from outside. Got my bryophytes and my ferns and my sporophytes. I've got everything. Did it just start raining?
I think so, yeah.
Nice, the storm is here. I'm sorry y'all are going to have to drive it, but hopefully after dinner it'll cool down a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be
Okay, so great question, Carrie. Oh, hi there. I didn't even realize you snuck up on my lap. Let's go over the signatures real quick.
Here, there's an update. I got a message from Amanda.
Oh, you added more onto it? Where? Oh, from that to that, so 7 more. Okay, I mean that's fine. So right now, signature collection and contest winners.
Make sure you check your messages that nobody.
I know people keep messaging me, and the numbers are starting to come in slowly. I had only had 10 people message me their count so far today. I know a lot more people are out there collecting. It's just hard to get the numbers coming in right now. So between those 10 people, the count right now, was that 6 more added?
Let's see.
But it puts us right about 380 signatures
7.
for the first week. 7? Okay, so 381 signatures for the first week. That is just what those 10 people have reported. At the same time, I've got some coming in my P.O. box that are being mailed in. I have a few events coming in this week where we're going to get large gatherings and huge turnouts. So they are just starting. So as far as contest winners go, first, well, I'll start with 4th and 5th place. So Miss Lori and Lee, y'all both got 4th and 5th place, so you guys are going to get a free bumper sticker of your choice. I'll text message you guys and let you determine what bumper sticker y'all want. 3rd place is going to be for a magnetic car decal. So that's like the letter size car magnet, and that's going to go to Mr. Josh over in Jonesboro. Mr. Josh is super awesome. He was actually out on the 1st at like bright and early collecting signatures at the post office. Thank you so much, Josh. You're super awesome. Let's see. Did I? Oh, let me see here. Watch out, baby girl, real quick. Oh, okay. So I messed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm giving away 2 car magnets this week. Miss Annie over in Jasper. You got 3rd place, but I already told Josh I'm gonna give you one, and you're super awesome, bro. So Annie and Josh, you guys are both going to get car magnets, and I'll get those all sent out to you guys. 2nd place is Amanda. And you are here in the Fayetteville area, Amanda. So your prize was a ticket to the Green Heart Festival. So I'll make sure I get you that ticket. If you want a second one, if you get 2nd place next week, I'll give you a 2nd ticket. And 1st place is, oh man, I think, so 1st place is the rear window decal. I think it's a 12-inch by 18-inch sticker for your back window. It's perforated. They're really cool. And that's going to go to Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim is the gentleman who set up Brews, the whole meet and greet. And because he set it up, I gave him credit for all the signatures that we got at Brews. So if you want to set up a meet and greet, just let me know. And with a little bit of notice, I'll make sure I fit it into my schedule. And then I'll come, we'll do a meet and greet. If it's a local business, you can call if one of your buddies owns a business, or if you know a small business in town, give them a call, be like, hey, I want to do a meet and greet for Dan Whitfield. He's running against Tom Cotton. Is it all right if we do this here from this time to this time? It will bring business into their store. At Brews, we increased their business a lot that day. So they made money. We got signatures. We all had a good time. So if you want to host a meet and greet type of event, just let me know and I'll come by. You'll get credit for all those signatures that we get that day. So, Mr. Jim, let's see. Individually, I guess I could say, it's fine. We got Josh with 49. Mr. Jim, your count with Brews went up to 99 this week. Lori, she got 31. Annie got 40. Amanda, let's see.
62.
Oh, well, Amanda got 55.
62, I corrected it.
That's Amanda.
Yes.
Or Melissa.
Amanda, she just messaged
Oh,
you.
Amanda, you messaged me. Awesome, Amanda. Okay, sorry. Amanda got 62. And then Lee got 21. So, those are just like 10 people, 10 volunteers who went out and got almost 400 signatures. So thank you guys so much. And as they keep coming in through the PO box, I'll make sure that I keep adding them to the list starting from now on. And I'm going to add onto the signature collection tab of replacetommycotton.com a little widget that has a current update of how many signatures we have. That way you can, see what our goal is and where we're at. A little progress meter on there. Mr. Jim, I'll give the window decal to another. I'll find someone to give it to for you, someone who's been super helpful. But yeah, so that's where we're at with signature collection. We have a little ways to go, but we got a good starting momentum. I know I had several people message me this week that they're going to meetings this week, and they'll be collecting at their meetings as well. So it should be a really good week. Our goal is going to be to get like 1,250 signatures per week. If we can get to that goal, then we'll be golden. If we get to the point where we're like 60 of the 90 days in, I can use some donations and hire a company to help us get signatures if we absolutely need to. So let's do as much as we can volunteer-wise, and we will go that route if we have to later on. But yeah, so that's signature collection. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you guys so much for your help. I'm going to be doing another contest. We're going to have a contest every single week. The top 5 collectors are going to be getting prizes. I'll announce what prizes I'll be giving out maybe tomorrow or the next day. But at some point this week, I'll announce what the prizes are going to be. So awesome, and thank you so much, Ty, for coming by and sharing your story. And I'm really glad that you're in a great position. Your wife has awesome insurance, so you don't have to worry so much about next week. Congratulations, by the way, on 26th birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, fun years. I enjoyed it. She was born when I was 26, so I guess that's one of the best years of my life. But
Okay.
hey, no.
Okay.
Anyways, but yeah, well, thank you so much, Ty. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
We've got some deer burgers. So.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Questions? Are there some more questions popping up?
Okay then.
Let's see here.
You're not supposed to be there.
Oh, I'll send you a PM, Rodney. Let's see. Collected 12 signatures from Garland County. Awesome. See, so that's another 12. I know there's a whole lot of people who've been collecting as well. Let's see here. Oh, and thank you, Carrie. Carrie said happy birthday as well.
Oh, thank you.
So awesome. Dang, we are at an hour and 7 minutes. Awesome. Well, thank you again for sharing your story, Ty.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and end this for now. If anyone has questions, you can go ahead and send me a message or whatever. I'm going to try to do my next live stream. I'll do it Saturday night so I can get it done before Nikki's birthday on Sunday. And I will see you all then. You guys have a good evening. God bless, and God bless America.